The Zephyrian delegation had spent 17 rotations preparing for this moment. Their environmental suits hummed with cooling systems pushed to maximum capacity, their bodies fortified with thermal regulation boosters that had taken cycles to properly calibrate. The desert world of Kepler 442c stretched endlessly before them, its twin suns beating down with merciless intensity that registered 127 degrees Fahrenheit on their instruments. Captain Vexali checked his suit's readings one final time. "Remember," he transmitted to his team through their sealed communication system, "the humans have agreed to meet us here to discuss the mining rights. This temperature is at the very edge of our species' survival threshold, even with full environmental protection. Stay close to the cooling units." Fiza Chen stepped out of the human transport vessel, wearing nothing but a light cotton dress and a wide-brimmed hat. She carried a water bottle in one hand and what appeared to be some sort of frozen treat in the other. The Zephyrian delegation sensors immediately screamed warnings about the humans' complete lack of protective equipment. "Welcome to Kepler 442c, Fiza called out cheerfully, waving at the group of heavily suited aliens. "Sorry we're running a bit late. James had to stop for ice cream on the way here." A second human emerged from the transport, James Rodriguez, wearing cargo shorts, a t-shirt, and sandals. He was consuming what the Zephyrians' database identified as a popsicle while casually surveying the scorching landscape. "Nice place," James commented, licking his frozen treat. "Reminds me of Phoenix in July. Maybe a bit cooler." Captain Vexali's suit systems flickered as he processed this information. According to their extensive research on human physiology, these creatures should have been dead within minutes in this environment. Yet they appeared not only comfortable, but actually seemed to be enjoying themselves. "Humans," Vexali began, his voice distorted through the suit's communication array. "Are you experiencing equipment malfunction? Our sensors indicate you have no thermal protection systems active." Fiza laughed, a sound that somehow managed to be both musical and slightly terrifying to the alien delegation. "Equipment malfunction? No, we're fine. This is actually pretty nice weather. Back home in Pakistan, my grandmother used to make us tea when it got this hot. Said it helped with the heat." "Tea?" repeated James, nodding seriously. "Hot drinks? When it's hot out. Seems backwards, but it works. My abuela in Tucson does the same thing." The Zephyrian science officer, Dr. Kelty, was frantically running calculations on his portable scanner. "Captain, this is impossible. Our data indicates that human core body temperature is approximately 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The ambient temperature here exceeds their internal temperature by nearly 30 degrees. They should be experiencing fatal hyperthermia." "Oh, that's cute," Fiza said, overhearing the transmission. "You think 98.6 is hot for us? James, remember that summer we worked the archaeological dig in Death Valley?" "Which time?" James asked, finishing his popsicle and casually tossing the stick into a small container he'd brought along. "The one where it hit 134, or the one where we ran out of water and had to hike 12 miles to the nearest road?" "The 134 one. That was a Tuesday, I think." Captain Vexiali felt his cooling system strain as he processed this information. You survived in 134-degree temperatures? For extended periods?" "Well, yeah," James shrugged. "I mean, we made sure to drink plenty of water and took breaks in the shade when we could find it. Standard stuff. Humans have been living in deserts for thousands of years. It's not that big a deal once you get used to it." Fiza nodded in agreement. "My family's from Karachi. Summer temperatures there regularly hit 115, 120 degrees. You learn to adapt. Plus, humans are basically walking sweat factories. Our cooling system is pretty efficient." Dr. Kelthy's scanner was now beeping frantically. "Sweat factories? Captain, I'm reading massive amounts of thermal regulation through water evaporation from their skin surfaces. It's like they've turned their entire epidermis into a cooling system." "Evolution, baby," James said with a grin. "Persistence hunting on the African savanna for a couple million years will do that to you. We're basically biological air conditioners." The Zephyrian delegation exchanged glances through their helmet displays. They had spent cycles preparing for this negotiation, assuming the harsh environment would give them a psychological advantage. The humans were supposed to be uncomfortable, stressed, eager to conclude business quickly and return to their climate-controlled vessels. Instead, Fiza was now pulling out a blanket from her bag and spreading it on the ground. "Anyone want to sit down and discuss this properly? I brought sandwiches and some of those little cookies James likes. Oh, and sunscreen if anyone needs it, though you all seem pretty well covered." "Sunscreen?" Captain Vexali asked weakly. "Yeah, for UV protection," James explained, settling comfortably on the blanket despite the blazing suns overhead. "This is actually pretty mild UV exposure compared to what we're used to. Earth's ozone layer took a beating a few decades back, so we got pretty good at dealing with solar radiation." Dr. Kelthy's legs nearly gave out inside his environmental suit. They're treating stellar radiation exposure as a minor inconvenience." "So," Fiza said, unwrapping what appeared to be a perfectly normal sandwich, "about those mining rights. I understand you're interested in the rare earth deposits in the northern hemisphere." As the Zephyrians struggled with their overheating, cooling systems and fought off heat exhaustion despite their advanced protective equipment, they watched in growing amazement as the two humans conducted business as if they were sitting in a pleasant park on a mild spring day. By the time negotiations concluded 3 hours later, 2 members of the Zephyrian delegation had required emergency cooling procedures, and Captain Vexali had developed a newfound respect for human adaptability that bordered on religious awe. "Pleasure doing business with you," James said, standing and stretching as if he'd just finished a leisurely lunch. "If you ever want to discuss expansion into the southern continent, give us a call. Though I should warn you, it gets a bit warmer down there." As the humans packed up their picnic supplies and strolled casually back to their transport, Dr. Kelthy turned to his captain. "Sir, I'm beginning to understand why the Galactic Council classifies humans as a Class 7 adaptive species." Captain Vexali nodded slowly, his suit systems finally beginning to stabilize as they prepared to return to their own climate-controlled vessel. "Make a note in the official report, Doctor. When negotiating with humans, environmental advantages are not advantages." In the distance, they could hear Fiza laughing as she told James about her grandmother's summer recipes, while the twin suns of Kepler 442c beat down on a world that had just witnessed another small demonstration of humanity's most terrifying characteristic, their absolute refusal to acknowledge that anything was impossible.